Hello, America, or what's left of it, United States, and I'm going to include Canada, and I'm going to include Mexico, and I'm even going to include South America because we're a continent. I know that's a bad thing to use a big word like that anymore because everybody's in alphabet form and the doctors. But I wanted to say, when is Trump going to do what Reagan did? Take this wall down. This is to Trump mesmerized, hypnotized. And I'm not Democrat or Republican. I believe in the Constitution, Bill of Rights, freedom of speech. That's what I'm doing right now. But doesn't even anyways. People seem to be like zombies on big pharma or street drugs, and or both. Eating food that's not good for them. But be that as it may, I'm going to speak to their 1 or 2 or 5 brain cells left. The Rio Grande has always been open for hundreds, but no, thousands of years. And the United States government of District of Columbia is only a little more than 200 years old. It's a corporation. It's not part of the states in America. But I think, after screwing the Indians that were here a hell of a long time before we colonized, now we're going to take people that are desperate for a living, like most Americans today, and I'm one of them now, that divorce and all that and this. My husband went off to this country and was off another wife. So, but my point being is, everybody, even I saw in Paris, Kentucky, semi-rich, they have maybe $5-10 million. They're scared to hell to death. I was so not lucky to meet Trump in the late 80s in Saratoga Springs at Mary Lou Whitney's party. And he didn't impress me at all. He was married to his wife from Prague at the time. And she was quite dazzling, unlike the Barbie doll he's married to today. But you need to wake up and represent yourselves and walk the talk, not talk the walk. The infuriating news that goes on and on and on are only owned by a few people. So if you put down your football phones and whatever else preoccupies your time, which I know a lot of hand-to-mouth people are desperately trying to keep themselves together eating and their family eating and rent and all that BS. We are spending $1 trillion a year. You look this up, in your famous Google Kabbalah-driven BS trip in Wiki and all the rest of the places on your super phones. $1 trillion a year on military junk. And we've been doing this, predominantly since, at least World War I, probably before that, I'm sure. And since World War II, in Project Paperclip, we didn't really win the war, folks. We won it on a superficial way. Everybody thought we won. But predominantly, we brought hundreds of right-hand scientists into NASA and mind control mental institutions here and in Canada. Scientists that Hitler was. Now, I'm not going to blame Hitler for everything. Stalin was just as bad. And we're just as bad now. We're going around the planet bringing democracy, blowing up towns and villages, and blah, 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 blah. First of all, you guys need to go back to school or something. I know schools aren't teaching anything anymore, but you can still go to the library and futz up. We are a democratic republic. And because the word democracy, look it up, is ruled by mob. And mobs go by emotional. I call it emotional alchemy. Anyway, getting back to my main point. The wall is not being built to keep people out. The wall is being birthed by keeping people in. I've encouraged for at least 2 years almost the Mexicans and the South Americans that have farms and family in South America and Mexico, please go back to your family because you'll be safer there than in the United States because we're going into the martial law etiquette. and I just think it's really apropos that Reagan, that bar made Hollywood actor, said judgmentally, of course, to Russia when you're going to bring the Eastern Wall down. And now we have Trump who's building an effing wall. and, and nobody seems to be able to see this. And I'm going like, now I had ancestors. I was so lucky to grow up in San Francisco, and they were children at the time. One was in Auschwitz, the other one was in another concentration camp, and then I met Germans that were there in Berlin when Hitler did his wonderful, incredible moment of speech. And she actually told me she wetted her pants because he had a lot of charisma. Like some of these evangelico idiots on the TV that want to have, they have a $32 million jet. Now they want to have a $58 million jet because, I mean, this is ridiculous. I know we've drunk a lot of fluoride since the 50s, and that was used first in the concentration camps to make people more placid. And I know our food is poisoned and blah, 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 blah. But we still have a couple of brain cells left. I would say at least 2, if not 1.5. And this wall is not a wall of peace. And I want to end this video, if it goes online, if it's online, on our free speech video internet today. It's fantastic to see people fold for the charisma, smile, and looks, and no substance. Because I dare, you can email me or whatever on this stupid YouTube and tell me what has, in all the years Trump has been supposedly in, and I wasn't for Hillary, she's a complete joke, but I'm saying, what is any difference? He says he's going to get rid of pedophilia. He hasn't gotten rid of pedophilia. First of all, he'd probably have to arrest himself. But secondly, none of the things he said, he's done. But when you look at 9/11, according to CNN and Fox, all the terrorists came from Canada. So, no, I think the first wall we need to build is in Canada. Of course, they're not going to do that. But this whole Mexican thing and all that trash. I grew up as a young child in San Francisco. Illegal Mexicans and illegal people have been coming in through that border for at least 80 years. And I'm 61, so I know a lot of Mexicans and South Americans had no ID, and they worked for way less wages than at the time. A dollar was actually backed by gold. Of course, you young people don't know what that means, probably, but it was more significant. So now it's been, yes, pouring, and I will say it's escalated, and that's due to our social programs, and it was planned. I'm saying these people plan their events. They live on the islands, tax-free. They have nonprofits that do profit them. I don't profit the nonprofit very much here in Canada and all around the world. So you need to do your own homework and say, hey, the Rio Grande has been open. And we've had in history, real history, not, dumb published. I knew in the 2nd, 3rd grade, I was taught only the winners print the books. So if you really want to know history, you're going to have to dig for yourself like a mole, especially today because they're knocking it down and burning up libraries, replacing it with superphones. So Gal and Viacom or whatever can print anything they want. But you can still look up a lot of this stuff, and there are documents that are hidden in the Library of Congress. And all I want to say is there's bad and good in every tribe on the earth, every color on the earth, every culture on the earth. And none of the terrorists that blew up, I say that's another story, 9/11, Twin Towers, came from Mexico. Anyway, God the Creator is the only one. I'm not religious. All the religions have been co-opted. It's like corporate capitalism. It's not capitalism, it's corporations that fly around the globe like clouds and absorb our minerals and work and everything. And they have no sovereignty at all, no ethics, no empathy, no nothing. They're just corporations. And but my God, the Creator, and yes, Yahushua, broke all this. That's another story too. But you have to have common sense in this, It's common sense. There wasn't one fucking terrorist, excuse my French, that came from Canada. I mean, sorry, Mexico. Now, there are a lot of people being let in that aren't Mexican. But to blame the Mexicans is ludicrous. Without the Mexicans, the last, let's see, I was born in 58, so most of the farms in California before the fake drought was incorporated by HARP, HAARP, that's another lookup for you, were picked mostly by Mexicans because they would do it for room and food. That's all they wanted. So, you Americans need to wake up and smell the coffee and take responsibility for Zippo politicians that are using you emotionally. You look like a football game if I watch TV. It's such a joke. And yes, there are bad Mexicans, there's bad white guys too. There's bad everybody on the earth, but there's more good than bad. So there.